Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Misfell Entertainment News. My name is Dread. My video today is called IGN Manipulating Game of the Year Voting. Shocking. I know. Nope. No, it's not. This is a video from Asmongold Clips called IGN is an effing joke. Let's get into this, and if you can sit through and manage to get through 2.5 minutes of numbers and facts here, you're going to find out just exactly what IGN is doing to Black Myth Wukong.
IGN appears to manipulate user votes for Game of the Year. Wukong drops from 90% to 74% in the span of 1 hour.
Context. A few weeks ago, IGN set up a system to decide the Game of the Year. In this, you have a huge catalogue of titles that face off in duels. In theory, the game that eventually wins the most duels will be crowned Game of the Year. In a perfect world, every game shown here should have the same numerical amount of duels. I have thoroughly tested this, and the system will continue to show you a game even when you made it lose multiple times. Unfortunately, people have noticed some absolutely insane out-of-this-world tampering for Black Myth Wukong. Yesterday, Wukong went from winning the Game of the Year to quickly collapse. Notice how it got 44k more votes in the span of 60 minutes.
In the span of 60 minutes, so it got 44,000 more votes. Which 60 minutes are they looking at? Because that's 1628, so that's 428 to 549. It's more than 60 minutes. That's 71 minutes. But anyways.
While the other game's duels count remained stable, and some people even recorded it as it was happening. And now the game has dropped to third place. This is not IGN removing bots. This is an insane amount of losing duels added to Wukong, while all the other games have remained stable.
Hey, that's not possible, because if you're adding losing duels to Black Myth Wukong, as many losing duels as you add has to be winning duels going to other games. But here's the kicker. As they show, that's not what happened. The losing duels and the winning duels don't add up anymore. They've just piled a bunch of losing duels on to drive the game down. They're lying. They're cheating.
Back to you, Baldy.
Wait, that's an insanely good point. A duel has two different outcomes.
Yes.
That means that the other game should go up proportionally at
Yes. One game loses, one game wins. It goes up and down by the same amount, but that's not what happened.
the same ratio. Oh my god, somebody made a fucking chart. So if you look at the time,
Huh. Now, somebody better at numbers is going to understand this chart than I will. I'm struggling to kind of figure it out. But if I look at this, they had 90.4% and then they had 84.4%. So they dropped 6% here in 39 minutes. Well, that's strange. Because that's a significant drop. And I believe if you check this out, the duels versus the percentages, they don't add up. I believe I'm not good enough to do that math myself, but I believe that's what people are saying. It doesn't add up.
51,000 votes happened within this time period for
51,000 votes. Okay.
Black Myth Wukong. And now if you look at Final Fantasy Rebirth, you look at 242 to 245. This is within the same window, but instead of changing by 51,000, it changed by 3,000.
How is that possible? They only had 3,000 duels on Final Fantasy, but it went up, and they had 51,000 duels on Black Myth Wukong, but it went down 6%. No, No, you can't just log in and choose what games you're pitting against each other. It randomizes and throws them out at you one at a time. It's impossible for one game to have 51,000 duels and in the same time frame another game to have 3,000. That's impossible. It's impossible. You know why it's impossible? Because IGN lied. They rigged it.
And then Helldivers 2, 240, all the way up to 243. So if anything, Black Myth Wukong got negatively botted. And basically every single one of those votes would have been a negative. This means that out of the 51,000 additional duels, the win rate of those additional duels was only 9%.
They went from 90% winning duels to over an hour and 10 minutes, only winning 9.5%. What are the odds on that without somebody inserting their own figures and their own numbers in there? It doesn't happen, people.
Which brought the win rate down from 90% to 72%. And then the thing is, they tweet out, what's your game of the year? And Black Myth Wukong isn't even on the list.
Even when it's still in third place, they don't even put it up there. Wow.
It's at 70.7. Now it went back up to 70.9. It just got 5,000 votes and went up by 0.2%. Wait a second. It's possible for it to go down 20%.
Yeah. It just got 5,000 votes and it went up 0.2%. Do the math. It's impossible for it to go down 20% from 50,000 votes. Yeah. 20%, the most it could possibly go down then would really be 2%, not 20%. You really cannot trust media. I mean, the gaming media is now exactly like the real life media is when you turn it into television or wherever you get your news from. You cannot trust anything you hear anymore because they all have an agenda. They will all lie through their teeth and they will all push whatever they want you to believe. And they will manipulate things any way they can.
Dude, this is a degree of shamelessness that I've never seen. I'm almost not even mad at IGN because of how flagrantly ridiculous this is. We just changed all the votes. IGN appears...
They literally went in and changed the votes. This is the world we live in nowadays, people. This is why I like to gather a community together here of people who think at least somewhat like I do. Because it's a place where we can discuss this stuff and huddle together and say, look, this is what's going on. We need to band together. We need to stand up to this stuff in any way we can. We need to be aware of this. We need to keep each other aware of what's going on and not allow ourselves to be sucked in by the lies that are being fed to us here in the gaming community. Thank you all for hanging out here. I do appreciate each and every one of you. And for Misfile Entertainment News, my name is Drake. See you next video. Take care, everybody.